All right, guys. Hi. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. Okay, guys. Happy Tuesday for a lot of us, but not a lot of people. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. We're about to bring up Kim from Bravo Breaking News. We've missed Kim. Kim is absolutely killing it on her YouTube channel. We're going to get to all of that by the end of this, where you can follow Kim and see everything that she's doing. This is obviously the week of Thanksgiving, where people are shopping, people are getting ready to eat amazing food, and they're grateful for all of the amazing things that are happening. And it seems like at the same time that so many people are grateful, so many people's worlds are kind of crumbling at the same time. It's very odd. So we're going to jump into it. Smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and let's welcome Kim from Bravo Breaking News. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be back. It's been too long.
It's been too long. How have you been, Kim?
Good. But I can't say the same for this morning because, we just got the shock of a lifetime. Not the shock of a lifetime, but still, it affects me nonetheless.
Okay, so should we just start there? I feel like we have to.
Can we please?
Okay. So guys, as you know, Kim, have you read the article?
I did. I skimmed it. So yes.
Did you skim it or you skimmed it?
I skimmed it.
Okay. We skimmed it. So Us Weekly was the one who came out with the article. And at first, when I saw this, I saw it on Ryan Bailey's Instagram. I'm not going to lie. And I was going through and I'm like, what TikToks can I do today? And then I was like, wait a minute. Is this true? Because I saw where this pertains to Vanderpump Rules, you guys. I saw Sheena just did a podcast the other day where she's like, I've heard so many things about how we're going to film for only 3 weeks and how the show got too expensive. And guys, don't believe anything that you hear. And I was like, okay, well, that's good for you guys. Maybe you'll have a season 12. And then today it was announced by Alex Baskin, the executive producer, and Lisa Vanderpump also had a little interview bite in there, that we are going to be scrapping the entire cast of Vanderpump Rules for the last 11 seasons, going into season 12 with an entirely new cast starting at the bottom. Thoughts?
Not shocked. We all said that the end of last season felt like a series finale. We did all the flashbacks. We saw them kind of coming up throughout the show. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And it's even worse piggybacking off of yesterday's news about Schwartz and Sandy's too. And also, they had the audacity to announce this the same day as Kristen Doute's pregnancy. Like, there is a lot happening in the Vanderpump Rules Valley world. It's almost too much to consume for us Bravo fans.
It's one of those, when it rains, it pours. And it's also one of those things too, like, people sometimes think, I remember, and I'm not going to say who, I remember when Kristen Doute was fired, Jax Taylor was taken out of the game with Brittany, Stassi was fired, Brett Caprioni, and Max Boyens. And I remember talking to at least 2 of the cast members who were like, well, that's life, and it happens. Okay, well, sorry, not my problem. And now you have Jax Taylor, Brittany Cartwright, and Kristen Doute on their own show, The Valley. That's not going anywhere anytime soon, you guys. This is easily probably going to be a 5 to 10 season show, in my opinion, right?
I agree. Do you think at this point, now we've said it, are Sheena and Lala going to go over to the Valley? They've already been making appearances this last season, but I'm talking about as a full-time cast member.
I don't know, because Andy Cohen commented on this and he said that the Valley is really good. They're in a really good place. It's like the same way that he commented on, and we'll get to this a little bit later, you guys, but he commented on Teddi Mellencamp because he was asked at Bravo Fan Fest, would Teddi Mellencamp be coming back as a housewife now that her affair has come out and that she's getting a divorce? And he said, OC is in a really strong place, and Beverly Hills, like, we just started, so we're not really interested in like entertaining the idea of casting. But then over to the Valley, he said the same thing about Lala and Sheena. He was like, we have a really solid cast. Like, we don't want to really go back. If they want to come on and make appearances as friends of, sure, but I don't think that we're going to get them as full-time cast members.
Oh, and as much as I've, kind of dogged on Sheena and Lala, I didn't like how Lala acted this last season. I do feel bad. This is their livelihood. And while Lala has definitely made a name for herself elsewhere, her podcast is huge. Sheena, I don't know. I hope that she has, her podcast is also really big. So I don't know. Everybody has their own kind of ventures that they can go off to. The Toms, I don't know. It's a little bit questionable with them. Oh gosh. I don't know. I agree that, the fans are obviously saying, please don't bring Sheena and Lala over to the Valley.
Right.
I think that this last season maybe will be a test, a little bit of a test run, and for both them and the viewers to see how we react to them kind of intermingling more with the cast. So we'll see. It's just tough. I do feel bad because I don't know, this is their livelihood and it's giving RHONY legacy. Like these people who have been on and have made a name for a show. They are synonymous with Vanderpump Rules. They always will be. And kind of to just be dropped all of a sudden and completely replaced, that has got to feel really terrible.
Well, it's kind of like what Bethany Frankel said too about the RHONY girls, like when she gave the analogy or comparison to the Toy Story situation where they're like old toys that are put on a shelf. But I remember talking to Sheena before I put my YouTube channel into a podcast, asking her like, what should I name it? I was bouncing names off of her. What are your thoughts? Do you make good money on the podcast? And she gave me a lot of tips and tricks for the podcast. But she did tell me at the time, her numbers were kind of dwindling down around that same time because the show wasn't on. So if the show's not on, the podcast is not as desirable by the fans because they're not really invested in the drama because the show is not on. However, if you guys are watching the show and then Sheena can go on the show, her podcast, after like an episode comes out and be like, well, let me tell you my perspective of it, then you're going to get more ratings. You know what I mean?
100%. You're so right. It's like, what's the saying? Out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to be watching them on TV anymore. Though I do wonder, like this news is, I almost have chills. Like I am not a normal person. This news is going to definitely affect a lot of Bravo fans. So I wonder if they will give us one last, I don't know, like a check-in, like a where are they now? Let's shoot for a couple days and kind of see where everybody's at. I don't know. We just need like a goodbye. Like we weren't ready, but I don't know. At the same time, they didn't give us that with RHONY. They didn't even do a reunion the last season of RHONY. So I don't know. And then, there's a chance that we'll get some sort of spinoff. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a shock to the system.
I don't think that we're going to get a spinoff. I think that Vanderpump Rules in the Valley is enough. But one thing that I think would be really fun is that if they waited a year or two and then they got all of them on a private jet like they did the original Legacy, where we went to Turks and Caicos, but we put all of them together on a vacation where they're forced to kind of hash out all of these things. And I'm saying 2 years from now. But in the meantime, I don't know. A lot of people too don't know what the beef is between Lala and her assistant Jess. I was going to say Jeff. Sorry, Jess. But her assistant Jess. And for some reason in my head, and this is total speculation, I don't know anything, you guys. Every time I go to my breakfast place in the morning over here where I live in Charleston, they always ask me, they're like, Adam, so what's the tea? This morning they asked, are Craig and Paige breaking up? And I'm like, I have no idea. And they're like, well, no, tell us what you know. And I'm like, I cannot tell you if I don't actually know something, because if I don't know it, there's nothing to tell. And so when I was just in awe thinking about it, with the Jess and Lala thing, they asked me about that too. And was wondering, was it getting too expensive with the new mortgage were things kind of adding up money-wise. You have a new baby. You paid a lot of money to have your dream baby. You're paying for a $3.2 million mortgage plus a $1.4 million mortgage in Palm Springs. I don't know anything about the Give Them Lala beauty brand or if it's still even a brand. Where is your money coming from? The podcast is not, I'm telling you, it's not paying for all of this. There's no way, you know?
Exactly. I feel it was definitely a financial decision, a hard one to make, I'm sure. But let's be real. If you're not working, you got to start cutting costs, where you can. And she was like a limb that could be cut off. Like the rest of her podcast is her family members. So of course she's not going to cut them off and they don't need to be paid. So she has a free co-host or two that she can call on at any time that can, go on with her that she doesn't need to pay. So yeah, I mean, I think at this point, are we going to be seeing some downsizing? Are we going to be seeing and I don't know, there's this, post-reality life, like now all of these people are going to be, thank you, Judy. Now all these people are going to be going on other reality shows. I'm sure we're going to get somebody on Traders. It's giving Alexis, oh, you're a TV star. They're going to be, if you look at her IMDb, it's all of these random ass reality shows that she just makes appearances on. So I think there is a career for these people in that, continuing to be on TV in a different format. But yeah, the podcast is not going to cut it. I don't know. I
have a question for you.
Yeah.
Did you watch The Hills?
Of course I watched The Hills.
Okay. This is shady as hell. And I'm sorry to put you in this situation. But do you remember after The Hills that Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt put themselves in every reality TV filming situation possible? Like, I think they were doing like Celebrity Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, where they were in the jungle. I remember that. I did not watch it, but I almost did.
I didn't watch it either, but like Celebrity goes to a pawn shop. Celebrity goes to the jungle. Celebrity is like stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Celebrity has to get a real job. They did everything that they could to monetize. If you had to guess anybody from this cast who is going to take on the Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt road, and this is just a fun game of shade, who do you think it's going to be?
Sheena Shea, obviously.
I know. I thought the same thing.
But I love it for, you can have a career doing that. Heidi and Spencer seem to be doing okay. They're still together, which is a feat in and of itself. And they seem to be doing just fine. They don't seem to be struggling. They seem to be, I don't know, keeping up their lifestyle, whatever that is. They have beautiful children. So I don't know. There is, and look at the RHONY cast, right? We have Luann, still so relevant, getting a spinoff, Cabaret, etc. Sonia in Your City. I'm sorry, I keep harking back to RHONY, but it's just kind of top of mind for me now. And then you have Dorinda, still hosting events at Bluestone Manor. I don't know. And also we have to factor in, New Jersey too. Like it's like the season to reboot. Like they're not really, being nice about putting these shows and cast members on the chopping block.
No, and also to kind of add to it, well, before I go there, let's go down the line really quick. Let's start with Sheena. So we're putting Sheena in a Heidi Montag category, yeah?
I think so, yes.
Tom Schwartz, do we think that he's going to end up moving to Florida, living with his family? He's probably going to take whatever money is left. He's going to invest it into a property and go back to normal life.
I would think so. But what about his girlfriend? Are they still together?
Not after this.
Okay.
She was waiting to get on the show. She is 23,
so
24 years old. She's like, I'm going to be on Vanderpump Rules. No,
you're
Sophia.
So right.
You messed up,
I
girl.
mean,
Or
I think if anybody is, willing to go back to normal life and be more with his family, it's Schwartz. let's be real. I don't think he's like cut out for that Hollywood life. I think he kind of just stumbled into this and has kind of just stumbled through every season of Vanderpump Rules. So yeah, I don't know. I hate to say it. Love you, Schwartzy, but yeah, and I think that'll be good for him.
I think the people that we're going to have to worry about the least would be James and also Ariana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. James is absolutely killing it with the DJing. Ariana, obviously. I mean, no response needed there.
And then Katie Maloney.
So Katie has something about her. She also has a podcast, which seems to be successful. I think that she will put her all, like she has been, into something about her. I think it's still thriving. And again, you know, it's a little concerning that the show isn't on and they aren't able to, you know, kind of share that side of their life on the show. But like you said, that place is so small, they couldn't even fit cameras in there in the first place. So yeah, I think that Katie will be just fine. And I think the thing about Katie is that she will be grateful for whatever comes her way. She doesn't need to be in the spotlight. She will be fine, just kind of, you know, settling back into a more normal lifestyle. But I feel like stay in Los Angeles. And she has the new boyfriend, which also has its issues, but we'll see.
And then Tom Sandoval.
I mean, why don't you take that one?
I hate to say this, but I feel like Victoria Lee Robinson has held on a little bit in hopes that we're going to be on the show. Somewhere in Palm Springs or Arizona or Arkansas or wherever Raquel Rocky Levis is. She's like, oh, that sucks. Shame. Sorry. But I think that Victoria realizing that Tom is not going to be on the show, I wonder how long it's going to last, because I think that a lot of people, and I'm not saying that she had ill intent, I think a lot of people do have the intention of, okay, well, I am dating a main cast member, so now next season I'm going to be on the show, I'm going to get promotions, sponsorships, catapulted. And now if the going gets tough, is Victoria Lee Robinson about to get going? That's the question.
Yes. But will Tom, I'm just going to throw this out there. Will Tom Sandoval somehow make a career out of being a villain? Because he's going to be on this upcoming season of The Traitors. And I have a feeling we are going to be talking about him. I mean, a lot of people are hoping that he gets voted off night one. I'm also hoping that, but he's going to kind of be back in the spotlight for that moment. Will that continue? I don't know. Again, we've seen him do, you know, he did Special Forces. We've seen him do a lot of spinoff reality shows. But other than that, I don't know. If that doesn't happen, I think that he is literally going to like fade off into the distance. Like with Schwartz and Sandy's, we haven't even discussed that. With that gone, and Victoria probably, you know, with one foot out the door, I think that it's not looking good for him.
Well, let's, for 2 seconds, discuss. So, one, were you surprised?
No, not surprised. But again, even these things that you think and know in the back of your mind will probably happen, once they do happen, it's still pretty shocking. I don't know. Again, I don't like Tom Sandoval, but I don't ever want a business to fail.
Did you ever go?
I've never been, but I don't know. I gotta say, tell me, guys, should I go? I'm in Orange County. It's an easy drive for me. I've never been. I have never supported the Toms in that way, but I feel like as Bravo Breaking News, it's kind of my duty to go before it shuts down. Don't you think?
Also, if you're going to go, hold on, let me pull something up. And it's not to put you on the spot, but if you're going to go and put yourself in this situation right here, and you're going to have to go to Kathy Hilton's Christmas party, which I know was really, really tough, then like, why would you not put yourself in another tough position to go to Schwartz and Sandy's?
I don't know what you mean by tough, Adam. This was not tough at all.
I'm just kidding. No,
This
this is
was
a
a
dream.
fabulous dream of a day. Kathy, if you're listening, I'd love to come back. But yeah, I just feel I haven't been to Jax's either. I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things that's wasn't on the top of my priority list, but I feel I got to do it before they shut down.
All right. Well, last but not least, before we end up getting off of the Vanderpump Rules crew, we have to say a big congrats to our girl, Kristen Doty. This is her dream.
I love this for her. I am so happy for her. We've seen her struggle last season on the Valley. She really wanted a child. I think Luke was in it. I'm concerned that they were talking about splitting their time between these different states, but it kind of seems like now that she is pregnant, they will kind of, call LA home base and kind of make a home for themselves here. So I'm so happy for her. I could not be happier for her. However, why did they have to announce this news about Vanderpump Rules on the same day? Like, I feel like it's a little bit overshadowing. I feel like she deserved to have this moment, honestly.
I don't think they cared. I think that
I care. I care.
It is really kind of a dick thing to do but also, and I bet you, because I know Kristen and I know her well, I bet you anything that she was going to announce literally yesterday, but then she was like, oh, no, I don't want to put this out there on the same day that Schwartz and Sandy's closing. Kind of like Katie Maloney announcing on the same day of Tom Schwartz's birthday that she has a new man. And then on the day that she announces, they're like, wait, hold on, Vanderpump Rules, recast.
Yeah, everything's coming up Vanderpump Rules. It's kind of like, we've grown up with these people for the past 11 season. We've watched them go through so much. And the fact in the span of 2 days, we've gotten great news, terrible news, like all of these people's lives are changing for better or for worse. And you can't help but feel, I don't know, I feel like it affects me. And I don't know any of these people, but it's just, gosh, what a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy for her. I don't want this to overshadow her news because it's great news. And I couldn't be happier for her. I wish her and Luke the best. And I'm sure we will see her journey more on next season of The Valley.
Okay. No, I like that. And I cannot wait to see that. And I also cannot wait to see The Valley. I know it's going to be really, really good. And Jax Taylor, your hit and run and your disaster of a life. I always say this. You threw a cigarette in my face. So I will always forever say, karma got you. And you're making a fat paycheck. So karma ain't getting you too bad.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not getting you too bad.
The fact that man, Jax Taylor, is now is on TV when all of these other people just got dumped by Bravo is kind of like the craziest thing. Like, no one could have ever predicted that.
No, we wouldn't have. But you know what else we wouldn't have predicted? And I haven't talked to you in a minute, Kim, so we have to talk about this. Teddi Mellencamp. Guys, I don't know if you saw, but obviously Teddi Mellencamp. Let me just make sure. I just hit my cord for my audio. Okay, it's still on. Teddi Mellencamp, you guys, cheated on her husband, Edwin, with her horse trainer, Stassi Simon Schroeder. Stassi Simon Schroeder. And she had a message for everybody because everyone wanted to know what her thoughts were. And she went on to her podcast, Two Teas in a Pod, and Tamara tried to bring it up. And obviously you guys know that they talked about it before they went on to the podcast. And she was like, what I can say is that I can't say anything. No one is not guilty, yet no one I'm not going to say is guilty. And it's like, what are you actually saying right now? Especially because I found out 2 nights before and I should have put it out there, but the person who told me, I couldn't go against her. Nobody would go against this person. She said, the only person who can change your life is you. We have 2 options: pretend to be a victim or stand up and fight for yourself. We all deserve peace and happiness. I've cried and mourned. I have taken accountability and apologized for the things that I've done wrong. Now I have given myself permission to grow and thrive, and I have decided not to pander to the media and tell my side, because in the big scheme of things, well, that was the end of that sentence. Clickbait means nothing, and of course, 3 sides to every story. How I can stand up and show up for the people that do matter does. This is called being an adult. This is what saying it with my full chest means. I'm going to let you take this one because I have a very odd relationship with Miss Teddi Mellencamp.
5 paragraphs of words, and at the same time, you say nothing. You say absolutely nothing. This says nothing. As an accountability coach, it really doesn't seem like she's taking accountability. Sure, maybe she said she's apologized, but the fact that there's 3 sides to every story, like, we know, as you know, as a journalist, as a reporter, that not all headlines are completely true. Sometimes they are blown out of proportion. So I'm not just going to take everything that's out in the news with 100% certainty. However, I think it's pretty clear what happened here. And the fact is that you had an affair with another person who was married, whose wife was pregnant. Now, whether you were with the man while his wife was giving birth or not, yes, that's terrible. But the fact is, it's still what you did is terrible. And I don't know. I think that rather than saying this, she should have said nothing at all. I think that would have been the route to go, because it definitely seems like she's just spinning and saying things just to say things and being like, look, I'm strong and I'm going to get through this. I think, was she playing? I think the song on that reel was Fighter by Christina Aguilera. So she's ready to fight. She's ready to move on. And I just honestly don't think that is the right mentality to have when moving through this. I think you need to be a little bit more sorry and show a little bit more remorse for your actions.
Maybe Justin Bieber's "Is It Too Late to Say That I'm Sorry?" Like, that would have been
better. Yeah.
That would have been a better.
I think so. You were in the wrong. Rather than saying, like, I'm strong and I will get through this, just say, look, I made a mistake. And I don't know. It's not like we would have reacted any better if she did that. I'm just trying to maybe tell her to take a different approach next time.
She also did say, I am giving myself the permission to thrive. And I am giving myself that permission to move forward and thrive after this. It's like, well, girl, you were thriving. You were thriving when somebody else's man. You were already thriving. Now you just got busted. So now you got to be remorseful, not thriving. Now take the thriving, put that to the side. You're already thriving. You're doing well. But like, compartmentalize that and be apologetic.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's kind of seeming like she's throwing this in Edwin's face. And maybe this is piggybacking off of the fact that we found out that Edwin was also having affairs earlier in their relationship. But it kind of seemed like she knew about those and they had moved past them. So why is she saying now, like, oh, it's my turn, I can, do whatever I want and I can act like this? Like, it's not really, like, until it comes out that Edwin was a really, really terrible husband and she needed to, like, I don't know. She should have ended the relationship then. She still shouldn't have cheated. So I don't know. It's just the way she's handling this isn't quite how I would personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, I thought it was, I mean, I know that I already talked about this a little bit, but the fact that Andy Cohen, when he was asked about Teddi and was like, it's a no, pretty much. You can read between the lines. It's a no. She's not coming back. We're not bringing her back. And then he also said, because the minute that the fan asked the question, hey, would Teddi Mellencamp ever be considered for OC or Beverly Hills? And you hear the whole audience go, boo. And he's like, I don't know why you guys are like that with her. Like, she's such a villain when in all actuality, she is a truth teller. And I was like, truth teller? She just got caught in an affair, Andy.
I
That is
know.
not a
Andy's
truth teller. Like,
he's just
Andy,
trying to be PC and like throw her a bone when no one else will.
she
Which I
already
get
had
it.
enough bones. That's the problem. She got the bone. She got both bones.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be thrown another bone. You're right.
Doesn't
You're
need another
so
bone.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think no one asked for that, and luckily I don't think we will ever get that. I think that the fans have made it clear that we don't want her back. I'm surprised their podcast is that successful. Like, Tamra will say some crazy things and make headlines and everything. I kind of understand why she has a podcast, even though I do not like her. I understand because she says crazy ass shit and makes headlines. But Teddi, I never really understood her. I didn't understand her on the show. I didn't like how she interacted with the other women. She didn't really bring too much. And when she did, it was like kind of sad to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't think she will be like, let's be real. She had an affair. Does this all of a sudden make her more interesting? No, not really.
You know, and also, I think it kind of shocks me unless we are just not privy to what the deal is between Teddi, Tamra, Two T's in a Pod, and iHeart. The fact that Stassi Schroeder just signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Podcast One, right?
I believe so.
Podcast One. I'm like, they definitely have to have a multi-million-dollar deal, right? You would think.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's always coming up in the headlines. Like, people are talking about it. It does make news. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're probably one of the biggest housewives podcasts, if not the biggest. A lot of other wives do try to replicate what they have and they can't do it. So props to, I may not like them, but hey, I can see a successful business when there is one. So stick to that.
Yeah.
Stick to that. And maybe, like, I don't know, if she could like open up a little more about this relationship and show a little bit more remorse. And I don't know, but at the same time, like I said, like, I just don't think she can win just with how the audience reacts to her. Whatever she says, we're going to find an issue with it.
Well, and I also feel like, though, too, I think that there is a reason for that. And I feel because it's so easy for Teddi to go on and criticize every Bravo celebrity who is doing anything wrong. Even like with Scandal, she was like, how could you? And a lot of energy went into criticizing a lot of these discrepancies that were happening in other Bravo celebrities' relationships. And she was one of the biggest. And now she's like, I want my privacy. I want my privacy. I want it. And I want to protect the children. And I'm like, if anybody's not protecting the children, just to be fair, and I'm sure she's an amazing mom, nothing would be affecting them or getting to them had you not have made the decisions that you made. So it's really a Teddi thing. It's not really the public thing. You're choosing to monetize and monopolize off of the public, which you're doing a great job at. But now that they have something to say about you when you've had so much to say about so many other relationships, yeah, like, what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of also ties back to Tom Sandoval. Like, your actions, if you are in the public eye, will directly affect how the public perceives you and your business if you have one. Like, you made a name for yourself to be this public personality. And if you make a mistake and you fuck up, you've put yourself out there to the point that, like, in situations where we are just going to judge you. That's what we do. You're on a reality show. So you made this mistake. You need to pay the consequences. And it will never change. And I don't know why people don't see that and like can take accountability for that in and of itself.
Right. Well, moving on, I don't want to harp. Jeffy, you gotta start
Coming
at the
in
beginning.
late.
You're coming in a little bit late, Jeffy, but we appreciate it. That's not the only thing that Andy Cohen spoke on at the Bravo Fan Fest. He also addressed the fact that we are not getting a Real Housewives of Dubai. He said that that was a smart business decision. What are your thoughts?
I think it's sad. I do think that Dubai brought this level of, glamour and glitz and wealth that we don't really see in the other franchises. However, I do have to admit, I wasn't super saddened by this news. I have to admit, I also didn't finish this last season. I don't know. I love all of the women. Like, I have no issues with really any of them. I love Ion. I love Caroline Stanbury. I could watch her all day. But for some reason, it just didn't click for me. I just didn't feel the need to keep watching. I don't know. I just can't explain it other than that.
I know that he said that it was a smart business decision, but I also heard that there were 2 cast members that were responsible for this.
Well, let's take a wild guess as to who that was.
Well, go ahead. Take a guess.
Well, Caroline Brooks, I think, is one of them, right?
Okay, I heard that. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Talene? No.
You get one more guess, and then I'm done.
Wait, but I got the first one right?
You got the first one right. The other one's an OG.
Lisa Milan.
That's what I heard.
I love Lisa Milan.
You're really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. This new era of housewives, it's like we're getting too serious here. You know what I mean? Like, the Teresa and Melissa stuff completely broke New Jersey. And it kind of seems like the Lisa and Caroline stuff completely broke Dubai. I also think, as far as business decision, when Andy is talking about that, I talk about the wealth and the glamour. I'm sure this is a very expensive show to film in Dubai. I don't know what the exchange rates are for money there or anything. I have never been, but it just seems like an expensive city. So in order to film a whole season and do production in that city is probably very, very costly. And if they're not getting the viewership, they're not getting the ad money, therefore they have to cut their losses. So I think that along with maybe this cast, turmoil played a huge factor in this for sure.
2 other questions before I move on. One, do you feel like it was a mistake? Like, they should have done better research into Dubai before they ever even introduced it, instead of like giving us 2 seasons and then canceling it?
No, I think they had a solid cast. I think that the women that they had and the stuff that they showed was, I don't know. I don't really have any notes on how they could have made it better. Like, I think that they did a good job casting. I think they did a good job producing the show. I think it was just kind of how the cast interacted with each other wasn't as riveting as some of the other kind of, mixes that we have in the other cities.
And then also, with the ratings kind of going lower and lower in the pregnancy prank for Roni, do you think that they will relook at this and maybe re-implement some of our OGs, or do you think that that's done? Because we know that Sonia Morgan and Ramona are primarily in Palm Beach. Actually, you guys, they're right next to where I used to live. But they're there and they're rubbing elbows with like all of the elite of Palm Beach, and they're doing just fine. They're doing fine. But is that in the future that we could bring them back, or do you think no?
Adam, I would love nothing more than to have those women back on my TV. I am currently doing a RHONY rewatch. I just rewatched season 10, the season that Luann got arrested. And I urge you all to go back and watch that, because that is probably one of the best seasons of Housewives in history. I don't think that the new RHONY women even come close. I want to give them a shot. We've said that we were going to try to give it a shot. And I don't know. I was listening to an episode of Giggly Squad last night, and Hannah and Paige were also kind of telling us to give them the benefit of the doubt, that they're still kind of getting into it. They're only on season 2. They're kind of still, really, getting used to each other, interacting with each other. So we should, give them a little bit of grace. However, like they also said, did we have to do that for Salt Lake City? No, they delivered right off the bat. So I don't know if something's missing. I don't know. Is that fixable? What do you think?
No. I don't think it's fixable. I think that the reason that Vanderpump Rules was so successful was the fact that they all knew each other. There was an already operating dynamic, and they were so intertwined. You know what I mean? Which made for a great show. And I think when you start adding people, like when they added Ebony K. Williams to RHONY and pretended like she was Leah McSweeney's friend, and Leah McSweeney to RHONY and pretended like she was somebody's friend, I think that's when you start messing up the show. And I feel like that's exactly what they did. But we'll move on. So we didn't talk about this, but the Real Housewives of Orange County, guys, ended this past week. And Alexis Bellino, I felt personally like she got eaten alive. She posted a farewell, which wasn't really a farewell, but it kind of is. And she said, I just had the chance to watch the reunion of OC season 18. I'm letting everyone know that I'm broken by the season. I was already broken by losing my mom 3 months prior to filming. So it was a difficult decision to sign back on. Yet I went in thankful that it brought me out of bed and out of my depression. But now I have been beaten down so badly, so wrongly, and so many truths left out. So much left on the cutting room floor that would have never brought so much hate to me and my family. There are receipts, many, and they will be brought out this week. The lawsuit only finalized because the opposition knew that we had the receipts to bring to court, and she had to pay up because she would have lost in court. Yeah, she only paid $60,000 of the $75,000, but thank you for that $60,000. John gave you a discount. Oh, God, the snark. The lie that someone paid for everything is squashed by the fact of what our forensic accountant did. $50,000 spent by John year 1, then $380,000 over 3 years. Then 2 loans of $75,000, which she finally had to pay because the evidence would have squashed her in court, and truth prevails. It's unfortunate that I didn't get the opportunity for these receipts to be shown at the reunion, although they were brought by me and they were very available to be shown. So now John and I will bring them in our own voice. And this is never how I would have thought or wanted it to happen. I also want it to be known that I never thought I'd be brought back this season to be the villain. If I had known that, I never would have signed. I live in love, not anger or hate or villainous, and I truly lay awake every night wondering why it was portrayed this way. Unfortunately, this season made a hit show at mine and John's expense. I thought my beating all season would be finally advocated for at the reunion, and that the truth would prevail. And sometimes God has a different plan. I will now use my own platform and voice to share the truth with you because I do not live in toxicity, falsehoods, hateful behavior, victimhood, or lies. I signed on to reality, and now I will bring the reality to light. I will never act or become a victim. I will simply live with God and stand in the truth. He always prevails. Hashtag stay tuned. Thoughts?
I mean, to quote Emily Simpson, you are the dumbest effing person I have ever met.
No. Not
Yes,
Emily Simpson.
I said it.
I know you did. I just listened to it. I'm just dying right now because this is Alexis. You got used, girl. How did you not know? How did you not know?
How
How did
could she not know? She was dating Shannon's ex-boyfriend and suing her at the same time. How could she not know that she was going to be portrayed by the villain? I am sick of her trying to play the victim act. I am sick of her saying that, oh, it was the edit. If you only saw all of these other scenes that were left on the cutting room floor, you would think differently of me. Show them. Show the scenes, Bravo. Give us the scenes and let us make that decision because I will lay my life on the line and tell you guys that nothing would change.
when Shannon said, "How many times did you practice in the mirror? There's the door, Shannon Bedore," when there was actually no door. And I was like,
Oh my
you
gosh.
practiced that like 4 times, Shannon. Like, I just want to tell you, I want to answer the question. I felt like it was like one of those things like Jeopardy where like you're screaming at the TV and you're trying to answer the question before they can answer the question. I'm like, she practiced this a lot. And then shady editing going to her in the car with Emily being like, "There's the door, Shannon Bedore." I'm like, oh shit, you did practice. You did. You did. And you look like a Dumas.
And can we just call out that, like, was it 2 months ago? She took to Instagram to say that each week I'm going to go live and tell you guys about all of the things that they did me wrong in this week's episode. Nope, never heard a peep. Now she's saying that she has receipts. What are the receipts? We don't give a flying F if John spent
She
$350,000.
didn't post any.
I know, but
She
she's
said
like,
all
they're
of her
coming
receipts
this
are going to be
week.
coming out.
They're coming this week. We don't need to see bank statements. We don't need your forensic accountant to show us. We don't give an F about the money. We care about character. We care about your actions as a person. And there's nothing that she can do, literally nothing. Alexis, save your time. Go away. Do not post anything because it will just fuel the fire more. If her and John were smart, they would, like Tom Sandoval, fade off into the distance. That is honestly their best move at this point. I beg you, please do not post anything. It's only going to make things worse.
Do you feel like what was said at the end of the finale about Shannon allegedly putting her hands on John? Do you think that there could have been truth to that? Because I do.
Yes, I do.
I think that drunk Shannon, you have somebody who's like trying to maybe position you or grab you or not let you in the car because you're drunk and you shove their face out of the way. You're like, "Get off of me." And we've seen Shannon very erratic. I didn't see something in that statement to be like, or that I was like, "Oh no, I don't believe that." I was kind of like, "Oh no, this actually, you guys, kind of checks out." I feel like this is probably what happened. I don't think that she connected with his face, but I think that she probably totally shoved his ass out of her face when they were fighting. I think that he was probably trying to stop her from driving. She was probably like, "You know what? Cube John." And then I think that she turned around the corner and she hit the house and she was very intoxicated. And I think that's what happened. But I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I hope that she knew that Tamara was going to bring that out on camera, because if she didn't, then Tamara, strike again. But I think I didn't really understand this when I watched it, but what everybody's saying on social media was that this might be her way of getting ahead of the videos. They said that they were never going to release the videos, et cetera, et cetera. But if Alexis had anything to do with it, she was probably still going to tell people about it, tell people what happened. She said that she almost ran over John's daughter. I have a feeling she was going to probably say all of this at some point. So to help Shannon get ahead of it and to take accountability for it, I think that they kind of brought this scene back. I was kind of confused about it as to why it really mattered that John, in fact, heard the crash, and, a lot of people also say that this was a way for Tamara and Heather to kind of get back into the good graces of viewers, kind of seeing how people reacted throughout the season and after filming the reunion, and seeing how low Shannon was, and kind of maybe skewing more towards her side. So, I don't know. Of course, Shannon made a terrible, terrible mistake
Yeah.
that is, I mean, it's so bad what happened that night. But I do think that she's taken accountability, and it shows. I think you can now judge her on how she's acting on the other side. She's trying to better herself. Meanwhile, Alexis is still drudging in the trenches, trying to bring all of the terrible things back up, when this poor woman is just trying to move on and better herself. It's just sad to see.
All right. Well, before we end up capping this off and getting ready for Thanksgiving and all of the shopping for Black Friday or anything else that you guys have going on, I said this earlier. If you guys love food, then it's your food week. If you love shopping, it's your shopping week. If you don't love either, then it's another week, and that's okay. We're good. It's okay. We'll just let everybody else celebrate. Jason right now is in the process of boycotting Christmas, you guys. So we have a lot going on. But Whitney Rose said recently that she blocked Meredith Marks. And the reason that she blocked her was because she feels, listen, I wanted to find out as an experiment who was trolling me and my family. And after I blocked Meredith, I found out, yeah, the trolling stopped. Do you believe that or no?
I don't know. I mean, so is she saying that Meredith was trolling her because,
She didn't specifically say that. She
or
said
is
that
she yeah, go ahead.
she's implying that the trolling of her and her family stopped when she blocked Meredith. And when you block someone on Instagram, it also blocks affiliated accounts.
Right. It's tying back to Tom Sandoval blocking Summer Moon, when he in fact just blocked Sheena and every account she created. So yes, I'm going to connect everything here, if you're wondering. But yeah, I mean, she's implying that Meredith has a Finsta that has been attacking Whitney. And I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that any of these women would create a fake Instagram account. I guess, hey, I mean, I guess Monica did it, but to troll like take the time out of their day to troll them, say mean things about them online, comment, mean comments. I find it unbelievable. Yet I guess it has happened before. I don't know. I just don't see Meredith going that low. What do you think?
I don't think she did it. I don't personally. I don't think that Meredith had an account that trolled Whitney. I think that this is something that's very easily said that you don't have to prove, where you can say, well, the trolling stopped the minute that I blocked her. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now the people who love Whitney will be like, well, then it must have been Meredith. But it's like, that's not proof of anything. And time after time after time, I feel like that's exactly what Whitney is getting herself caught in, is not having proof of things. Or if there is proof, it's being presented in the wrong way. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
I don't think that this was, I think that this is a nothing burger. I think she's trying to make something out of nothing. And yeah, I don't know. The whole blocking on social media, like, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think that this really has any legs to stand on. So I don't know, Whitney, maybe try something else. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to maybe be at it with Meredith. I just don't think that this is like proof of anything.
Right. Right. I agree. All right. Well, if they don't know, we're going to move on over here to your social medias. If they don't know, will you let them know? We're going to start right here on the Instagram where they can find you.
Yes, you guys already know it. Follow me on Bravo Breaking News. I'm trying to cover it all. So
Look
make
at
sure
those
you
followers.
head over. Yes, it's growing. I'm excited. It's my passion. If it's yours too, give me a follow. But, Adam, you said it's the season of shopping, and our Etsy store, we just launched a ton of new products, a ton of new ornaments. The Dorit Smoking Collection, instant best seller, guys. I'm obsessed. The meme, the image heard round the world. Shout out to my husband who hand drew all of these. So major thanks to him. We've got classic housewives drawings. We've got Vanderpump Rules, the Sir Alley. I mean, that's kind of iconic now. We've got a Sir Alley ornament, snow globe. I mean, it's just so much fun. I'm creating like a Bravo themed tree this year. And these are also great gifts for everybody. So make sure to check it out, please. Everything we make ourselves, my husband and I. So I appreciate your support there. And then also head over to YouTube at Bravo Breaking News. We are covering Beverly Hills now. We just finished recapping OC and Beverly Hills. We will continue to recap every Wednesday. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for that.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll definitely make sure that you check out Kim's Etsy shop and also Bravo Breaking News on YouTube and also Instagram, anywhere social media, because she is always putting it out. And a lot of times we will reference Kim because she gets it out before we do. And she's over there on the West Coast. So she is doing the work, you guys. This is the week of Thanksgiving again. So I hope that all of you guys have a very safe and happy holiday week. Be careful. Don't drink and drive. Don't do something stupid. You guys are going to be around a lot of family that you probably don't like. This is why I'm staying away from my family. Don't beat up anybody. We don't need to do that. We don't have to go to jail for no reason. It's okay. Just get through the ham and the turkey and the stuffing and then get to Black Friday. Do all of your online shopping, which, by the way, I think we're around the same age, Kim.
I don't know.
Okay, you don't have to say your age, but I'm 31. And
around there.
Okay. I was going to give you 5 years less than me, but enough to remember that Black Friday back in the day, you guys, was a freaking sport. That was a sport. You had to go in with a hockey mask. Like when you went into Walmart and you were like ready to throw bows and like you ran for your shit and you ran. Yeah. And you made sure you got it. And now it's like all of this generation, it's so soft. It's like now we can just go online shop and there's going to be plenty and we get our discount and you guys will never know the work. And when it was like Gladiator 2. And I don't know if you guys have seen it because I haven't seen it, but I saw the previews for it. It is the same thing. You're going into the Coliseum to get that the 55-inch TV that's the smart TV that everybody wants because it's 4K and it's $400 off. But you'll never know. You'll never know. And I feel sorry for you. I do, because it builds character. That's all.
You're so right. You're so right. I am so thankful for you, Adam. I am thankful for all of you listening. And we are all just thankful for Bravo for getting us through the good times and the bad times. And all the time. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have an amazing holiday weekend. And Adam, thanks for having me.
Yes. As always, guys, we love you. Smash the like button, show some love, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.